Evan Spiegel has told investors of all of these sort of worries that he has and the macro headwinds that they're facing. Is that going to work the same this time around?
Yeah, we'll see. I think Julia had a really good point around the ease at which the ad spend can be turned on or off, right? And I mean, that could portend for a positive note, depending, I think, on the health of the consumer. I think looking at where inventory levels are. I mean, I'm really mixed right now in terms of the signals that we're receiving, but it does feel like everyone is preparing on the retail side for a decline. And if that happens, then we'll obviously, see a little bit of a decline on advertising spend as well.
And certainly a lot of the challenges that Snap is facing is baked in. Shares are down 76% year to date. When you look at Pinterest, though, shares are down only 34% this year, which is, better than even Meta's 60% loss year to date. What do you like in this space?
So, again, I always go back to, I like the diversity and the stability of businesses like Google, so I like Alphabet a lot. I'm a little bit concerned about Meta. I think it's not clear to me how the billions of dollars that they're spending towards going after the metaverse is going to play out. And when I talk to some of our portfolio companies that are on the consumer side, they're still struggling to try and regain after the privacy changes instituted by Apple. So I think it's not clear to me how Meta is going to perform, but I think we'll get a good indication in this Q4. This is an important period of time, not only for the earnings of retailers, but also for the online advertisers.
Lo, I wonder if you think there's sort of a positive flywheel if, in fact, we start to get real attempts at cost management. Meta's a great example where they're clearly looking to get more efficient, maybe reduce headcount, which maybe over time lowers inflation and takes the burden off of the entire market regarding rates. I mean, do you think that those things can work in tandem?
Yeah, I would even say, so to answer your question, yes. I do think that all of these companies are looking at how they can adjust their knobs to be able to continue the bottom line while seeing some pressure on the top line. Now, depending on the type of business, if it's driven by the consumer side, again, the consumer has held up fairly well. We've seen the ability for the job market to, we're seeing signs of potential softening, but for the most part, the job market is still healthy, indicating the health of the consumer. It's just not clear to me right now where things are actually going to head. And, I think that's the problem that a lot of people have. Hopefully, we'll see some clarity this earnings season.
Lo, once you factor in what's happening in D2C, you were mentioning it, the iOS changes, the whole targeting model has been screwed up, the cost of customer acquisition. Isn't the safer play in this Q4 to go with a Google or with an Amazon, where there's intent? If people are searching for socks on Google, they're looking to buy socks. If they're looking for socks on Amazon, they're definitely looking to buy socks. So if you apply your ad dollars there to get an edge, there's already a big audience as opposed to trying to get people in their social feeds. I mean, is that what investors should be thinking about when they think about who's actually going to benefit in online advertising this Q4?
I think those are great points, and without question, I mean, this is the whole benefit of that type of advertising, is that it's performance-based. There's clear attribution. Again, there is going to be, I believe, if we wanted to start to slice out some of the consumer segments, and this may indicate where we see a recovery if we do go into a recession, I do believe we're seeing a tale of two cities. If we go into a recession, I don't think we're going to see the sharp V coming out. I think we're going to see a little bit of a K. And so to answer your question, yeah, I do believe that when we think about those individuals that are fortunate enough to not be impacted severely by a recession, I do think we'll continue to see growth there. And that could bode well for Amazon when we think about the type of customer that they have.